Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and another in our series of I Built Them, so you don't have to. Today's champion is Indalia. She is one of the 4 champions I built at the same time, put them in the same dungeon, tested them out, and then we take them on their own. Before I talk about that though, I want to talk about Twitch. I do stream every Friday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It will be Mountain Standard Time once Daylight Savings hits on March 12th, but until then it's 6 p.m. Or it's Central Standard Time. And on Sundays at 10 a.m. we stream Raid. We have at least 3 hours and have a good time. Also on Saturdays I do stream at around noon, and it's typically a game other than Raid. But if you want to join me on Twitch, it is twitch.tv/madcapperyt. Come on out, let's have some fun, have some beverages, have a good time. Now, on to the video. Without further ado, here it is, Indalia. Elegant Disarm attacks all enemies. Has a 75, bookable to 100% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Flash of Guilt attacks one enemy. Has a 25, bookable to 50% chance of placing a provoked debuff for 1 turn. Outplayed passive. Counterattacks when attacked by enemies under decreased attack debuffs. Alright, so there was Indalia, quick look, but I tell you what, that video or that kind of preview does not do her kit justice. She is an HP based champion with over 20k HP, very strong champion for very different sets. You could put her, as I did, in immunity with some accuracy. We're doing that to do Hydra brutal. You could also put her in go full bolster. You can go shield set, regen, all the kind of HP sets that are out there. Also, she does some decent damage, so you may want to look at building her out in Savage to get that extra damage. As you can see here, that is what we have done. We built her out for damage. Let me take a look at our total stats here. So we have 84,394. We did sacrifice a little bit of HP for the damage and the accuracy. We've got 2319 defense, 220 speed, 276 crit damage, and accuracy at 351. As far as masteries go, let me get out of the way and we'll take a look there. Oh, let me get out of the way. So I took her down this route. If you need the extra accuracy, definitely go down the support, but I was able to get the accuracy numbers I wanted without it. The big thing here is I wanted her to do as much damage as possible. Honestly, I probably would go down more the boss fight route, which I tend to take this and take some life drinker instead of these two here, but it's not really a big deal. And then I did want some counterattack stuff because of her ability, which we will take a look at. As you saw, I previewed already. But now let's get out of the way. Let's get back to my home. Floating head. So she's only got 2 active skills, so it's a very simple skill set. But this passive is crazy good for certain areas, and that is counterattacks whenever attacked by enemies under decreased attack, which she happens to have her own decreased attack. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. It's a 100% chance, and it is a 2-turn decreased attack. And then of course you have the A1, and this is what makes it so special. When booked, is a 50% chance of placing a 1-turn provoke. What this means is when you put decreased attack, an enemy's attack, she's going to counterattack, and she's going to put that provoke. Now, she's an HP player, so she doesn't need the same sort of protections as a lot of the attack-based champions that do provoke. And what do you have? You have an A1 provoke. You have a magic affinity champion with a cool passive and has an AoE decreased attack at 100%. Where do we put her? Of course we do. We put her in the Hydra. So we're going to show you a couple different things. First, we're going to show you the same video we had in the last I Built Them, where we show you the team together and we talk at it from Indalia's perspective. And then I'm going to take her into the Hydra and show you how we get down with the Hydra boss and using Indalia. And then we'll wrap things up. So let's head over to the Celestial Griffin and talk about Indalia. All right, here we are, the Celestial Griffin with our team again. Krapkarth, Tagore, Andalia, and Andresia. This is Andalia. She's got a speed lead. Or sorry, she's got an accuracy lead of 40. So just added accuracy to help against the Griffin. I don't think we really needed it, but you can use her as a lead, and that's kind of the point of there. So we're going to skip forward. The first one, they die too quickly. So let's go back to the second. Let's get into that second round and show where she's really going to be useful. So she puts that decreased attack in. And I think one of these guys gets attacked. Maybe not. Maybe our team's just so good. The big thing about her, and I was actually surprised, I didn't expect it, she can actually hit pretty decently. So I kept her with that high crit damage ability. And she actually does not get a counter. Well, there's a counter there. And that's pretty simple, right? It's a pretty simple understanding. Let's get to the boss here. And again, she's probably the simplest of the ones. She's going to decrease attack. She's going to counter. And then that rinse repeat, right? So in this particular case, she's getting a nice little defense boost. Gets removed, so what? But there, she gets that decrease. She gets that counter attack. Now, right now, it's not as impactful because there aren't debuffs on this team. But if you had a decreased defense and weaken group on this team, then obviously she would be doing more damage. And her damage is not insignificant. The big thing also, her damage can't be inherently reduced because there's no decrease HP. Now there is a decreased max HP that a couple of champions have, and you got to be mindful that is going to decrease her overall damage because her damage is based on her own personal HP stats. So that is something to keep in mind, but overall, not a big deal. Like stuff like this, like the decreased attack, not a big deal. The weaken, honestly, she has enough HP to survive most encounters too. So again, overall, great champion, brings a great toolkit for this boss. And then if we just speed it up here to the end, again, you're just going to see her doing that. She's just going to attack when she gets the opportunity, and it's just going to help overall get the number of hits in. And actually, we don't even need to see the rest of this. You've seen it all before. So let's take it to the end here. And you can see 384. Oh, sorry, 7. I don't know, I was going to address yet. 761. She did the second most damage behind Geo, and that's straight off of the fact that she's getting all those extra attacks. She does have an AoE, which helps on the waves as well. But Geo, obviously, with his HP burn reflect, is going to get the lion's share of the damage on boss fights. But Andalia right there behind. So that said, that is her in a kind of in an overview. Let's take her into the Hydra, where I think she is an absolute necessity for trying to get rid of most people for trying to get 3 keys done in the Hydra boss. All right, so here we are in the Hydra, and unfortunately, I had some issues with OBS that lost all my footage of the actual key I ran. The key is right here. I'll bring up the, I took a screenshot at the end. When I realized OBS was crapping out, I at least took a screenshot of the key here. And I guess we can do it both ways here. Does it matter? Yeah, it doesn't. So there it is. It took me 30 minutes because I was manualing it, but definitely, I don't know if you'd want to auto this, but I think you could as long as you're picking targets just to speed it up a little bit. I don't like auto with Geo because Geo picks whoever Geo wants. Doesn't care if there's immunity on that champion. Doesn't care if it makes the most sense for you. Doesn't care if there's a champion been eaten. So, unless Crizzy is the auto queen, and unfortunately, but I'll go here. This is probably easier to read. Am I in the way? Yeah, just slightly. Let's move over there. So you can see here, Andalia, 4.8 million, almost 5 million damage. She was the primary taunter. So this would be a case you don't have 3 Husks, right? Because Husk is kind of the primary taunter for this because he also does really good damage. He does better damage than Andalia because he does enemy max HP damage. But I will say she's at 5 million. That's not that far off of Geo and Royal Guard, even though she doesn't have an enemy max HP. And because she's HP base, Royal Guard dies a lot. Geomancer dies a little bit. But the better you build her, the better your set is to build her for damage, the more survivable she just happens to be because she's HP based. And that 50-50 chance to taunt when you include, as I did, I included a safety net with Krisk. Krisk can taunt if she doesn't land it. And then I have Cardiel, and Cardiel, because the ally attack, gives another chance to provoke. So you've got all these safety nets for her. I think it only failed once during the entire time, and what I do is when I know I didn't get the taunt out and it's not going to come back around for another chance, I'll just A1 everyone, settle it down, and wait for the cleanse, and then that way I can just put the buffs or the debuffs right back up. But overall, great key in her. We're gonna bring her into. I'm gonna try it. Who knows, right? She might be good. So the big deal here is normally you don't want that extra damage. Oh, he was resisted. That's okay though. Someone else got that decreased attack, and she's just gonna hit. And what I would say is, if you're gonna use her somewhere like here, I think the advantage would be to use her in the in either Lifesteal, or what's the other one? I'm trying to remember what the other one's called. Bloodthirst. I would use her Lifesteal or Bloodthirst, just because even though she's got nice HP, she is going to be potentially hitting a lot. She won't land her. I forgot that I need like 7 billion accuracy for this, but we get the decreased attack there. So she's going to hit back. She's going to hit with her overall. I don't see, if you are playing so that you know that eventually a cleanse is going to happen here, I have no problems with using her in this situation. I usually use Godseeker, which just makes it a safer run, but you know what? I don't think this is an issue. As long as you can get that oh, it was resisted. That's always the pain. As soon as something gets resisted, it's like 100% painful. HP burns on, that's good. I honestly don't know if this will work. My hope is I could probably rebuild her for this. See, this is where Godseeker is so nice, because you get that extra. Because this, he's just going to hit again, and potentially... It nearly killed her, too. Holy crap, holy. That's always nice. Get those triple buffs going. There, that HP burns down, and it looks like we're going to win. So, I mean, I really should have realized... I might redo this video just to give you one with her actually being able to land that decreased attack. But she's going to do great damage there. I know that it's kind of a dangerous way to go, but she is like behind Geomancer. She is doing top damage because she's just counterattacking and getting War Master procs. And though that you run the risk of that cleansing the guy, honestly, it just depends on what your team build and makeup is. So absolutely, just a kind of an example of where you could use her, because I don't have the Hydra footage, though that is absolutely where I think she's used. So why don't we go to final thoughts? My final thoughts on Adalia is she is great. Now, where does she use Hydra? It's Hydra, Hydra, Hydra. It's on rotations 5 and 6. She has a double advantage here. Number one, the best provoker probably for Hydra is Husk. He's got it on his A1. He also does enemy max HP damage on his A2. So you're kind of double dipping there. You're getting lots of damage out of him, plus the ability to control. But he's weak affinity in rotations 5 and 6. And that's where Adalia comes in. She is strong affinity in 5 and 6 and able to help lock down that champion. Now, it's only a 50% chance, but I think that's no better or worse than Husk's. So it might be a little worse because I think he 2 times it. But you put her in strong gear for damage. You put her in provoke for extra chance because you can double dip on her set doing the work for you. I do that with one of my Husks. You can put her in anything, right? Survivable. The biggest thing about her that makes her so strong, which is why is a strong recommend for her, is that she's an HP based champion with decent damage based on HP. So you can build her out to be survivable, and that's also going to build out her damage. Is her primary job damage? No, but she does a healthy amount of it, and I think that's a very important thing when building her out. So rotations 5 and 6, I would be shocked if most of you didn't need her and just weren't aware of how good she is. Some of you probably already using her and having fun with her, but that's my thoughts on Adalia. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. But most importantly, of course, as always, please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.